Vikavolt. Vikavolt V is probably it's probably one of my favorite cards from the new Darkness Ablaze expansion. Um, Vikavolt V basically has a first attack. For lightning and a colorless, it does 50 damage, and your opponent can't play any item cards during his or her next turn. Um, so this is kind of like my take on Vikavolt V and what I think the deck would look like. I'm making all of my Darkness Ablaze decks post rotation because they're basically like they'll have Ultra Prism onward for like a month, if that, and then it's gonna be gone. So there's really no point to. Um, so post rotation, Vikavolt V. Now when I was making Vikavolt V, I thought, hey, it's a lot like Seismitoad EX. So I built it like Seismitoad EX. No one's gonna like you for playing this deck. It was built to be extremely trolly, to make sure that your opponent doesn't like you. So yeah. For Vikavolt V, just to maximize our odds of drawing into it. Also, since it only gives up 2 prizes, unlike most VMAXs, in case we prize one, it is going to be 100% of our prizes taken. So, if anything's going to be knocked out of our Pokemon lineup, it should definitely be Vikavolt. 2 Dene GX, just for extra draw support. Felt like 1 just wouldn't be enough with all the drawing that needs to be done. 1 Tapu Koko Prism Star, because being able to use Vikavolt's first attack when we go second, is really, really strong. 1 Tapu Koko V, because Spike Draw is pretty good, Free Retreat is pretty good, and if you absolutely have to, Thunder's Bolt can help you out as well. 1 copy of the Mew with Bench Barrier. Of course, this bench barrier being able to protect your bench to stop things such as... Gee, what's a good spread deck right now? I'm totally brain farting here. I'm pretty tired. I went to a friend's house earlier. There is a good spread. Weezing. I mean, like, I don't know. Weezing, I think, is going to be pretty good after rotation. So, yeah. And in case you ever go into something like Sableye, Flapple Spread, I don't know. I feel like Bench Barrier still is worth, no matter how declining Spread may be, I feel like Bench Barriers kind of need to have just in case. Oh, Pikarom. Duh. I don't know why I didn't think of that one. Pikarom, of course. And 1 copy of Bolton V, because I just feel like having a copy of Bolton just in case you need to use Electrify. You have the option to. And Bolt Storm, of course, if you need to pick up like a sneak attack. That's an idea. Oops. 4 copies of Professor's Research, 4 Marnie. This is standard draw. 4 copies of Cynthia and 3 copies of Cynthia and Caitlin. 2 copies of Bulba and Bryson Man, just like a little bit of stall and for some recovery. 2 copies of Team Yell Grunt. Team Yell Grunt just to bounce energy back into your hands. Paired with Crushing Hammer, it is actually pretty good. And 1 copy of Boss's Orders. Now, of course, we're not going to really be picking up any sneak KOs. That's just not really the kind of deck it is. But in case you want to stall out your opponents, and like if they don't have any switching cards, you're kind of putting them in a position where they need to have a switching card, or else you're going to have a free turn to do whatever you want. You're not going to attack me? Okay, I'm just going to keep that there. I'm not going to worry about an attack, unless you top deck something amazing. And I'm just going to wreak havoc. And with some of the other cards in this list, we can definitely restrict what our opponent has. So Boss's Orders can be really strong in that regard. 4 copies of Quick Ball, just standard draw. Everything here is obviously a basic, so we can search it out with Quick Ball. 4 copies of Crushing Hammer. For anyone who remembers Seismitoad EX, I know I'm making a lot of references to Seismitoad EX. But Vikavolt basically has the same attack as it. Seismitoad for double colorless energy did 30. Your opponent's active, your opponent can't play any item cards. So, and Seismitoad is really popular with Crushing Hammers. Crushing Hammer it's just really good with item denial, because it really just stops your opponent from playing the game. And combined with something as busted as Reset Stamp, I mean, especially since we're not really taking, like, huge KOs or anything, you know? That's why we do play heftier 3 copies of Reset Stamp. We are often going to be behind on prizes. So a boss's orders into, like, a 3 retreat Pokemon or a 4 retreat Pokemon, with a Reset Stamp to 1 can be absolutely dreadful. So that's Crushing Hammer. 4 copies of Great Ball, just to search out everything else here, just to add a little bit more consistency. 4 Energy Switch. And that was just kind of like in my denial idea of the deck. Also, Tapu Koko Prism Star. It doesn't transfer and put energy on the active, so you need to switch energy from the bench to the active in that way. Just 3 copies of Switch. We pretty much always want to be pulling off our attack. I don't know what it's going to be called in English, but the item lock attack every single turn. So even having 1, I don't know, Boltund in the active is going to be dreadful. It'll allow our opponent to play the game, which is exactly what we don't want to do. So Switch is imperative. 3 copies of Reset Stamp, so that we can always Reset Stamp our opponents to small hand sizes. Crushing Hammer, just absolutely turn the tides of a game. 1 lucky coin flip and a Reset Stamp really can go all the go the distance. Also, depending on what happens, you can even Team Yell Grunt, or you can Bryson Man. Just really good. 2 Tag Call, just so we can search out our Cynthia and Caitlin's or our Billabum Bryson Mans. 5 this is supposed to be 4 copies of Speed Lightning Energy, and then 4 copies of Lightning Energy. Speed Lightning Energy, of course, in my opinion, is one of the best things that could happen to Lightning types. Just being able to add, like, an amazing, just draw 2 cards, as well as Lightning Energy for Lightning decks is just really, really strong. And so there's really no reason not to play it. And 4 copies of Basic Lightning, because Speed Lightning, we can't just live off of Speed Lightning Energy. So, this is my Vikavolt V-list. I may be thinking, well, where are the other 2 cards? If you could tell, I've been kind of keeping track of my, card counts. Like, I have 10 Pokemon, 16 supporters, and then, at this point, 4, 16, 22, 24, so I have 24, 50. I guess I could have just done math differently. So this is 15. So you have 2 cards to do whatever you want. Now, of course, this is an untested list, so I cannot give, like, oh, maybe I should do this or that, because I haven't tested it. But on paper, it does seem really, really good. In the day that this is, so on the 23rd, I think it is, at the moment, I'm going to be recording 2 videos because I missed my upload yesterday. So, look forward to that, I guess. I'm going to record them pretty close together. But, anyway, this is River from the Portland City Gym, signing out. Apologizing if he didn't sound as enthusiastic. Like I said, I'm kind of tired. So, yeah. Anyway, I will see you guys next time.